you.
Welcome to the Thorpe Park safe zone. You look like you've been on the road for a while. But before you can enter the safe zone, you need to answer 3 questions. You at the back. How many walkers have you killed?
Too many to count. A lot.
How many people have you killed?
2.
Why?
Yes! Walkers have reached the safe zone walls! Over!
We've got civilians in the holding bed. We need to move them to the bunker now.
Huh? They haven't been questioned yet!
Look, Negan is on to us for more supplies every day. We need the help.
We don't know who these people are! Jenna, we're losing power! Walkers have taken out the fuel tanks for the generator!
Screw the questions, I'm letting you in. Look, as soon as that door opens, get to the supply store immediately. Personnel can get
Okay,
you
guys,
safety from
right,
there.
imagine the situation where you right down through the door.
Hurry up!
Jenna, what
Keep it down, guys, keep it down.
Look, I'm saving an exit. Quickly, get a move on. Just watch out, they're behind you.
Safe zone emergency announcement. All community members must report to the supply store for immediate. This is a Thorpe Park safe zone emergency announcement. All community members must report to the supply store. Area A compromised. Area B.
There's a transportation to the cafeteria. There's a way open that door. Take some personnel up ahead. Get to the supply store. Don't look back. Hurry.
Area B. Compromise 2. We're compromised in C. Repeat, C is down. We're compromised in C. Repeat, C is down.
Transit system is up ahead. Hold tight as we lock it out until you reach the cafeteria unload bay. There's a tunnel there that you can escape through.
We're losing power. All engineers get to the backup generators. All non-essential power is shutting down.
Right, so we have just done Walking Dead the Ride, and this is the Walking Dead the Ride vlog. So, what you saw is you saw the external building, you then saw us going in. In is the pre-show, we filmed the pre-show for you, and then the walk through. So you'll kind of rush through after the pre-show into the actual ride corridors, and then, you know, there's a bit of scenery, and it's clearly based around the prison, much like kind of the Living Nightmare was more based around the prison than what anything else was. So then once you're through the corridors, you end up in the station area itself. Now I have to say, the corridor bit, the pre-show and the station area looks amazing. It looks really, really good. Kind of up to the quality that we were expecting from the Living Nightmare last year. You then get to sit on the ride. The ride hasn't changed in the slightest in terms of track layout or trains or anything like that. I don't think anyone was really expecting it to, and it hasn't. It's remained exactly the same. Now going up the lift hill, there isn't a lot of scenery. There's kind of some pipes going upside, some lights that come on, ceiling lights that come on, much like the saw lights, if you will, kind of flash as you go up. The first half of the ride doesn't have a lot of scenery. When you stop at you don't stop at the first 2 block runs, and as you go through, you see some mannequins, and you see a couple of bits and pieces going on, but there's not really a lot to look at, to be honest with you. The second break run doesn't even have that. It just has speaker sound effects. Now, I have to say, it's really quite disappointing given the quality of the Living Nightmare and the quality of everything else that there's nothing going on in that first half of it. However, it does pick up. After the second break run, you go down and there's a screen of what looks like Rick shooting people in the head, or zombies in the head, shall we say. I say people, shooting zombies in the head. And it's a good shot. You know, you're kind of heading straight towards it. It does need a little bit more theming around it because it's probably not quite big enough. Then as you shoot round and you go back up to the third lift hill, that's where you get screens, and on those screens you get people trying to break through them. Very similar to the advert, only they don't actually break through, but very similar to the advert. From here you dive down, there's smoke effect, there's light effects, and you know, the scenery really, really picks up, and I mean really picks up to kind of much better quality of what you were seeing in the Living Nightmare. Once you're in the final break run, really is how we wanted the whole ride to look like. You're fully enclosed, there's a lot going on, you know, there's lights around you, there's smoke around you, and it just looks a lot better before you go back into the station. Now we understand the ride isn't quite finished. It's not due to open for a couple of days. By the time you see this, it will be open, so we don't know what other changes are going to be made in that time. It's Walking Dead the ride. It's well, we've gone on it for a second time before we give our full review. Now then, you know, it does need improving without a doubt. I don't think it's the finished article, or at least I hope it's not the finished article. It needs just a little bit more on it. It's you know, the first half is a little bit plain once you're inside, and the second half really makes up for it. And you know, with the Living Nightmare, Thorpe Park kind of set their own bar really high, because the theming in there was just brilliant. So it's really a bit disappointing that this seems to have been thrown together a little bit more. But we are going to wait for the finished article. You know, if you're coming to the park, it is probably the best carnation of X we've had. You know, I like the uniqueness of going backwards on X No Way Out. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of theme, it had none. So it's difficult. But I think it's the best carnation of it, which has got to be a good start. Without a doubt, it's got to be a good start. But there's definitely more work to do. Definitely more work to do. The general consensus, if we've spoken to people, is that they have been disappointed with it. They've not gone to say it's terrible by any means, but they have been disappointed with it. But we hope you liked it. We know we couldn't take you on ride, but you know, we got a surprise. We've got to save something a surprise, and let's be honest, you've all been on X by now, so you know exactly what the ride's going to do. But we've shown you the inside, we've shown you the bits. That's our opinion. Let us know in the comments what you think of it. But the Walking Dead the ride will be open by the time the video goes up. So get yourself down to Thorpe Park this Easter, ride the ride, come back for May, head back on the Living Nightmare. This is the UK Theme Parks. My name's Adam, and we'll see you next time.